Welcome to JWL Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the world. If this is your first time checking out a video, please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. We're watching a clip of The Herd with Colin Cowherd, talking about the ratings and how the Chiefs were at the bottom for the ratings from the NFLPA, the Players Association. Like, this is the players themselves. This isn't outside sources. This isn't the media. This isn't random people, the fans, whatever. This is the players. This is like, they know better than anyone else. So this is shocking. They're 31st on, the report card or whatever. So I'm really, I had immediate thoughts on this, but I really want to hear how Colin breaks this down, because obviously the Chiefs have been so successful, right? They've been so dominant. They're winning like crazy. And yet here they have this. And a lot of people blame the owner, and the players were talking about how they thought that they were going to have better amenities and locker rooms, and they were told. They apparently didn't even have like chairs with like back, like a back on it and stuff, just like all kind of weird stuff that people take issue with. And then they were told, hey, this is all going to be corrected next year, and then it's not. And it's got to feel pretty bad after you won a Super Bowl. Like, to me, it's always bonkers. Like, I don't understand, and I don't know what it's like to be a billionaire and run a team, right? So, but it's hard for me to imagine that you can have all of this and not just give everything your team wants, everything so excessively. The way how these billionaires make their money, it's not like through football, really. Like, it's not through this. Like, it's just like monopoly money for them in a lot of ways. Like, this isn't the way their business runs and operates. It's almost more similar to like buying a home, where yes, you can make money off of your home, but it's more through things like, I'm going to sit on my home for the next 20 years and then sell it because it goes up in value. That's really how a lot of these guys are making money through these organizations. So the money that's coming in is just spent, right? It's like the salary cap, all those things. Like, it's not coming out of their own pocket in that regard. Like, it's the business's pocket. It's a different thing. So, right, Jeff Bezos owns Amazon, or at least, when he was the managing CEO or whatever, like, he's not writing a check and it's not coming out of his bank account to pay the employees. It's just a very different concept. So there is the money there for them to do all of this, to give the Kansas City Chiefs everything they want and need, and really any owner for that matter, even the poorer owners. Sure, it makes it a little bit harder for them to be able to pay a coach $20 million and then just fire him, right? That's where maybe the really wealthy coaches can kind of are a little bit more have a more freedom in that regard. But that's really more the exception to the rule than the rule itself. So I'm really curious to see what Colin has to say with regards to this, and we can break it down from there.
Olivet Brown. I worked in Las Vegas. Mike Tyson was ascending into a superstar. Mike Tyson used to work out at a gym called Johnny Toco's Ringside Gym in Vegas. I was there at least once a week. I fell in love with boxing. I'm not sure it had air conditioning. It smelled like the bottom of a boat. It stunk. It was hot and muggy. There was Top Rank Gym. It was shiny and beautiful across town. Mike Tyson liked to train at Johnny Toco's.
All right, this is
hot,
different, though.
Dark.
This is dumb.
Uncomfortable, and gave him an edge. I used to cover Oregon football. They built a new stadium. It got...
Okay, go look at where Floyd Mayweather trained. This is like such a silly... I have to pause it real fast because this is such a silly example. This idea that if you have good amenities, that makes you soft and weak and no longer hungry. It's not the way it works, okay? Also, Mike Tyson was a freak of nature, all right? And also, because of that mentality, Mike Tyson admits it himself, was his downfall. He probably would have been an even more successful boxer had he been in a more supportive environment. So this idea is just nonsense. This isn't a Rocky movie where as soon as Rocky got all rich and wealthy, he got all soft and lazy, okay? Like, it's not the way this works. Like, and again, it's also a fight game, which is different because they do talk about it's really hard to go train and box when you're, sleeping on silk sheets. Like, that's like an old cliche. But like, having good amenities, good training facilities, a nice locker room, like it doesn't make any sense. Like, I reject that wholeheartedly. I don't even know. I had a feeling Colin was going to try to defend this to some degree.
Got quiet. Old Yankee Stadium intimidated players. New Yankee Stadium has better restaurants. I'm not a facilities guy. I appreciate nice coffee machines. But there's a Pete's around the corner. All right? Well, Colin, why can't you have everything? Why can't you have it all? Because it's not the NBA. You don't get everything. Average players don't get great money. That's the NBA. You don't get 12-year contracts. That's baseball. The Patriots, you got trophies. You didn't get the most money. Now, college facilities are often better than pro facilities because of recruiting. You want to show off to kids. But even today, if you talk, and Texas football, by the way, has the bougiest facilities for the last 7-8 years in college football. Show me the titles. Aren't they a little soft? Cowboys, Longhorns, great facilities. Bougie, a lot of money. Wow, look at us. Where's the toughness in primetime games? I don't know. I think there's a correlation between beautiful, amazing facilities and players feeling good about themselves and the owners showing off. But you don't get it all in the NFL. When you were getting trophies in New England, you had to sacrifice pay. Tom Brady did for years.
That's something completely different.
Deal. If you want the most money,
that has nothing to do with anything right now. So I don't even know what he's talking about. That he's moving the goalposts and setting up a straw man. That's not what they're talking about. We're not talking about taking pay cuts and doing this and that. That's not what the argument is here. Okay? But some of the issues were like not having daycare and child support. Like I don't know if that was for the Chiefs specifically, but that was another mark for a lot of these other teams. I think it's something like 12 teams don't have it. And I saw people were commenting saying, well, why do you need that? These guys are millionaires, this, that, and the third. What you want to do, first off, not all these guys have everything they want, right? Some of these guys are making the league minimum and they're still playing snaps and, they're not just married and have a beautiful wife that's taking care of their children, right? That's like this fairy tale. But you want to make everything easy. When you are a performer, whether you're an actor, whether you're a model, whether you're an athlete, and I have real world experience doing this. For those of you guys who don't know, I'm an athlete, but then I also did some like modeling and acting and still do, okay? From LA to New York City, worked with massive brands from Tommy Hilfiger, Champion, T-Mobile, and music videos. Doesn't matter. I can keep naming stuff. But the point, Westworld. But the point is that what I'm trying to make is that they try to take care of everything so you don't have to worry about anything but the task at hand, but the performance, but the sport. Nothing else matters. You don't have to worry about where do I have to work, because they say, well, can't you just, figure it out for your kids? Like, like you have all this money, you need to get your own support, childcare and all of that. Yes, I understand that logic, but also just make it easier for your players so they don't have to worry about anything. Okay? Let's not act like the Chiefs were this dominant powerhouse until they, for years and years and years. They weren't. This is only until Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid linked up that magic started to happen. So let's not act like that this way is just the way it works. Not to mention, outside of having Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, when they're not there, how does that Patriot way working? This limited facilities, this D and F rating. Because if these teams were just successful no matter what, regardless of having Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, literally all the GOATs that we have the 2 GOAT coaches and the 2 GOAT quarterbacks. Like what are we talking about here? Because Tom Brady then also won in Tampa Bay. Okay? So like this idea that it's the amenities and some of this other stuff, that's what makes it harder, makes them hungrier and tougher. I call BS. There's a reason why when Tom Brady goes home, he goes home to this massive, luxurious mansion and eats nothing but the freshest organic fruits and vegetables and this and that. And then where does he go? I forget, how he has this compound somewhere out of the country in this beautiful tropical area. He's not training in a dungeon. He's not going to, Antarctica in the darkness. So I just reject everything he's saying right now. Everything he's saying. It's just absurd. It really is. It doesn't keep you hungry. It keeps you down. Okay? And it dehumanizes you in a lot of ways. It's not to say that they need to be given every single thing, but they do deserve a lot considering what they're doing. Okay? So this idea that winners don't need this type of stuff, I just call BS. So you're telling me if they had better amenities and better locker rooms and better training facilities and all this type of stuff, and felt more supported, that the Chiefs would just somehow magically just not be as good? Patrick Mahomes just wouldn't be as good. Andy Reid just wouldn't be as good. That's just not accurate. Because again, why weren't the Patriots great then for the last 3, 4, 5 years? Why weren't they great? I don't understand. And why weren't the Chiefs winning 3 out of 5 Super Bowls before Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid? Why weren't they ripping off 2, 3, 4 Super Bowls in the 90s and the early 2000s? I don't understand. That's all the proof you need to know that what he's saying is just fundamentally not true. Because if that was proven to be a big part of it, then it wouldn't be, then this success wouldn't be so dependent upon on those things. Again, look at, he pulled out another GOAT boxer, Mike Tyson. Like, what? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And then just to say that, well, basketball players, they get all this stuff, so that automatically makes them soft. It's a different culture around basketball. It's a different personality around basketball. And it's a different game. Okay? It's a different, less physical game. Football is built on hardness, right? That doesn't mean that you need to now have that in every aspect of your life. Under that logic, then all of these football players would be better off having terrible homes. They shouldn't move out of the bad neighborhoods. They should just stay in the bad, rough neighborhoods. They should just stay in, in housing and stuff like that. Why don't you just go do that? They should do that. Why? It'll make them hungrier, make them harder. They shouldn't be getting all this top level cuisine. They should just be getting fed, dollar cheeseburgers at McDonald's. That's what they should be doing. It's going to keep them harder and hungrier. Give them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's all they get. Keeps them hungry. Why don't you go do that? You found the success to win Super Bowls and to be successful. So just do that. Be like, guys, do you guys want a championship? Do you want a Super Bowl ring? You do? Okay, great. Well, we're going to be just training in flickering lights with a light bulb just swinging back and forth. There's going to be nails on the field and like broken glass. We're going to be out in the streets. We're actually going to practice a lot on asphalt and concrete, man. Just the way it goes. That's what makes you tough. It's like, what are we talking about here? You know who had crappy facilities? Who, for years, was really called out for their bad facilities? The Cincinnati Bengals. Did that create a winning culture? Did that breed just this ferocity and this hunger that made Cincinnati this dominant force for years to come? No, it did not. What made them suddenly become instantly better and now a threat year after year after year? It was Joe Burrow. So I can't believe how wrong Colin is here. I'm actually shocked. I really am. I mean, I had a feeling he was going to be like that. But this is the same guy, and I love Colin, so I don't mean to rip on Colin. I really, really do. I love Colin Cowherd. He's my favorite person in sports. But the dude has a house in Rhode Island which is only a few houses down from Taylor Swift. Okay? So, this guy's, eating caviar and lobster tail for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And he has the audacity to say that, no, let's keep these players hungry. Let's make their work environment hard because it makes them hard. I reject that so much. I reject that to the point that I can't even begin to tell you. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. I read every single comment, so if you think what I'm saying is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, please let me know in the comments below. If you think what I'm saying is the most amazing thing, then definitely please let me know. Either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility in the algorithm, and I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, and see you next time.